14th Arcanum, Temperance, None. Pass alternately from the triangle to the circle, and from the circle to the triangle. The Solar Spirit, Initiative. The Hebrew letter Nun, numerical value 50, expresses in the divine world the perpetual movement of life. In great awe, I understood that I was near the ultimate mysteries from which there is no return. I looked upon the angel, upon his symbols, his cups, the rainbow stream between the cups, and my human heart trembled with fear, and my human mind shrank with anguish and lack of understanding. The sign of the alphabet corresponding to this arcanum is Nun, whose numerical value is 50, its astrological correspondence, the sign of Scorpio. The hieroglyphic of the arcanum is the fruit, that is, that which matures in the belly of the woman, of Arcanum 13. The idea of the immortality of the archetype has the fruit of the gift of the ability of a priori judgments, which would not exist if we decided to recognize the metaphysical principles as unstable in essence. The fruit of the idea of death and reincarnation is the consciousness of the need for an hermetic harmony of active and passive elements filtered by the human person. The fruit of a detailed study of energy transformations are theories in which the first question is the reversibility or irreversibility of processes. So here are the three headlines for the 14th Arcanum: Deductio, Harmonia Mixtorum, Reversibiliatus. The picture of the 14th Arcanum shows us the image of the solar genius in clothes shining white, crowned with a gold band, girded with a gold belt, behind which a white plate is plugged, and carefully, without losing a single drop, pouring liquid from a golden vessel into a silver one. What does this picture tell us? Entitled in the scientific language Ingenium Solare, and in the vulgar La Temperance. This is the solar genius. The influx of the sun is synthetic. Therefore, the fruit, symbolized by this arcanum, should ultimately lead us to synthesis. So, deduction, often assuming an analytical character at the beginning of the study of an object, has the ultimate goal of its powerful synthesis. Pursuit of the harmony of the astral composition of the personality, being satisfied at certain stages between incarnations with the equilibrium of a group of planetary influences, selects as the ultimate goal the solar synthesis of these influences. Energy, studying the reversibility of particular processes of energy transfer, seeks to complete its system with a synthetic study of the entropy of closed systems. The golden band and the golden belt of the figure, together with the white clothes and the board, are the simple attributes of the solar genius. They have nothing to give a simple explanation. A continuous stream of liquid between the gold and silver vessels hints at equalizing the liquid level in these vessels. The purpose of deduction is to equalize a priori the validity of the existence of all objects of our judgments, to establish a complete system of associations that excludes any longing for the search for individual causal relationships. The goal of harmonizing the astrosome is to equalize all manifestations of our ability to perceive and generate volitional impulses, and thereby create a complete inner world in the heart of the androgynous personality. The purpose of the modern formulation of the doctrine of entropy is the general layout of the first picture of calming the sum of energies in an ensemble of irreversible phases. After this introduction, I can allow myself to proceed to the arithmetic analysis of the Arcanum, an idea of which is often conveyed by the term temperance. "14 equals 1 plus 13. 1. Hermes Trismegistus, possessor of the principle of immortality, 13, presents a grand scheme of deduction, 14. A three-dimensional human being, 1, wisely using his incarnations, 13, ends up performing hermetic harmony, 14. The study of nature as natura naturans, 1, and the synthesis of studies in the physical plane of transformation of energy, 13, give a correct understanding of reversible energy transformations, 14, within a closed system. We note that the inversion of the order of numerical values in arithmetic changes the picture, changes only the order of appearance of the components. Analysing an arcanum as synthetic as the 14th, we will limit ourselves to a single order of components. 14 equals 2 plus 12. The polarity 2 in the human being and the laws of mercy towards his fellows, 12, are the keys to hermetic harmony, 14. Let us remember that Gevurah and Chesed give birth to Tiferath. "14 equals 3 plus 11. The creativity, 3, and the force of the egregores, 11, transmit the harmony, 14, to the organs separated from the protoplast. "14 equals 4 plus 10. The intuitive capacity of one who represents authority, 4, and initiation to Kabbalah, 10, open the way to hermetic harmony, 14. "14 equals 5 plus 9. The formation of the pentagram, 5, and its initiation, 9, lead to hermetic harmony, 14. "14 equals 6 plus 8. Free will, 6, together with respect for the law, 8, lead us to hermetic harmony, 14. "14 equals 7 plus 7. Hermetic harmony is achieved by balancing the victory of activity, 7, with the victory of intuition, 7. If our receptivity has been enriched with something new, we should also broaden the scope of our activity. In physics, reversibility, 14, can be seen as two phases, 7, of the same cycle. As we see, the action of the Arcanum resembles it to the activity of the solar genius. It is relatively easy to observe their influence and realize their indispensability, but it is extremely difficult to discover the details of their performance. In order to discover them, one must be rich in fluids, as is the solar genius. For us, these fluids consist of metaphysical understanding, ethical experience on the physical plane. Complement to the 14th Arcanum. Energy can take the form of matter, and it is again transformed into energy. These are reversible processes, reversible from subtle to dense and vice versa, represented on the slide by the flow which passes from the jar of gold to the jar of silver, and again returns to that of gold. Something similar happens with a human being. In this sense, the Arcanum 14 can be considered as a continuation of the 13th, because the subtle and dense states, disembodied and incarnate, are followed in the existence of being until it reaches reintegration. The further study of Arcanum 14 covers the teaching concerning the monad, the androgyny, to the three basic types of souls, and, finally, to differentiate the septenary, the planetary septenary. From the latter depend the characteristics of the incarnated personality, that is, the pentagram immersed in matter. Because of this, the Arcanum 14 is often called the Arcanum of Personality. It is a reflection of Arcanum 5. Its numerical value, 14 equals 5, and its correspondence to the Hebrew letter Nun, value 50, confirm it. The title of the Arcanum in the plane of man, Harmony Mixtorum, indicates his harmonizing action both in the collectivities, by the integration and completely mutual of their members, as in the human personality, which, too, is a set of diverse components. The fullness of the personality is acquired by the multiplication and polishing of all its facets, by the transmutation of its lower planetary attributes into superiors, and by the development of the androgyny, by cultivating the qualities of the opposite polarity of each planet, especially the dominant one. Harmonization encompasses the three planes, the mental, the astral, and the physical. Only the realization of a complete and perfect synthesis allows the personality to surpass its own plan, that of personality, and attain that of immortal individuality. Its own plane. There is yet another aspect of Arcanum 14, purely mystical, in which the silver jar symbolizes the human soul, receiving the divine flow from the golden jar. Being devoted to our own guardian angel and the archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, and Phanuel, we had been especially looking forward to Jerome Mebes' teaching on the 14th Arcanum. We were therefore a little disappointed to find that it was the shortest chapter by far of the Tarot Majors. This is in great contrast with the treatment of the same Arcanum in Meditations on the Tarot, which provides the most beautiful teachings on the guardian angel, the faithful ally that I've ever read. The author of the Meditations encourages his own readers to study this arcanum in more depth, pointing out that what he terms angelology is one of the most fruitful courses of further study following the completion of the Tarot Arcana exercises. He positively encourages keen students to do so. The guardian angel, he says, takes care that there is a connection between the great yesterday, today, and tomorrow of the human soul, and who, if it is necessary, awakens recollections of the soul's previous earthly lives in order to establish continuity of endeavour. As the natural defender of his or her human being, the guardian angel can either participate or not participate in human affairs, depending upon what is required. On those occasions when she is required to take a more active role in human affairs, an action that must not only be permitted, but actually called for, the guardian angel descends from the point of his ordinary post into the domain of human activity. He then visits the human being. Such a visit is of course the primary aim of so much magical work, and we are put in mind of the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel made famous by Aleister Crowley. Perhaps he picked it up from the Book of the Sacred Magic of Abraham the Mage, written by the 15th century German Kabbalist Abraham of Worms, and translated by Samuel Liddell McGregor Mothers, founder of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Maybe in this respect the early teachings of Crowley are, for once, broadly speaking, in alignment with Tomberg's in viewing the guardian angel as a representative of the higher self of the human being, or the human being in their primordial pre-fall state. It is this angel in the thalamus system who is to lead his/her human charge across the abyss, a sphere that may be represented by the Sephirot Darth. We are not convinced this is something which can or should be achieved via artificial means, beyond the natural karmic and proper initiatory path of the individual. But it is testament to the magnetic appeal of the guardian angel that so much effort has been devoted to bringing him/her down to earth to guide lost souls. In later life, and writing in his book, Magic Without Tears, Crowley revises his view of the angel as an aspect of the self, instead seeing the guardian as an independent and discrete being. He goes so far as to say that to simply view the angel as part of the self is an actual heresy, although heresy against which religion we are not sure. Magic Without Tears is an interesting book, which amply displays Crowley's infamously sharp intellect, but also providing an interesting contrast with Tomberg's reference to the gift of tears in Letter 2, The High Priestess of Meditations on the Tarot. He writes, "An advanced pupil of yoga or Vedanta will forever have dry eyes, whilst the masters of Kabbalah, according to the Zohar, cry much and often. Christian mysticism speaks also of the gift of tears as a precious gift of divine grace." He returns to this theme in the 14th Arcanum, explaining that the gift of tears was always considered by the masters of Christian spirituality as a grace from the Holy Spirit, for it is thanks to this gift that the soul surpasses itself and ascends to a degree of intensity of life which is certainly above that to which it is accustomed. Every revelation given in the Zohar is accompanied by the weeping of whomsoever received and then shared this revelation. We think here of the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, and what it is said in the book of Matthew, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." These variations of teaching can provide much food for thought to students who are trying to find their way amongst the rich forest of ideas which have been bequeathed to us by the masters of different occult schools. We do not recommend deliberately setting out to perform the Abraham Melin procedure, and would rather suggest one simply prays to one's angel, and indeed the archangels, and speak to them through the heart, as one would to an absolutely faithful friend and champion. The proper place of our angel is to stand above us, shielding us from the unbearable direct gaze of God with wings of perfect love, constituting our first direct link with the upward vertical hierarchy of divine beings, which consist of angels, archangels, principalities, powers or exousiae, virtues or dynamis, dominions or karyotes, thrones, cherubim and seraphim. Tomberg recommends the study of angels as being particularly suitable for anyone wishing to advance the work. Did he also feel that Mebes had underdone what for many occultists is the most ardently longed for attainment, the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel? Whatever the answer might be, a pathwalker can be absolutely confident and sure that their guardian angel is with them every step of the way.